welcome. I hope you can hear this because my mics for some reason didn't charge. So welcome today to Cemetery Strolls, and we are at the parish church of All Saints in Freshwater. Now I didn't think this church was open. I went to the wrong one. I do know it's open, and I've come here because there's a very special family buried here, apart from the husband, the father. But we'll soon find out who that is. There's the gates, for those that like the gates. Inside the lynch gate, beautifully done, wooden noggins. I am hoping that you are going to be able to pick this up, so we'll soon find out, because it is windy. It's the war memorial, we'll come back to that. But it's, by the looks of it, it's a beautifully kept church. They've got some of their wilderness bits there, but a lot of it, most of it, is lovely, beautifully kept. Hopefully we can read a lot of these old gravestones. I've had a little look around, so right, let's go in and have a look. Take my hat off. Beautiful church. I'll find more on it and I'll do a talk over in a bit. The rectors, going back from 1286. Look at the arches. There's the font. The wooden lid with a metal rim and ironwork on the top. Beautiful. Looks like grey marble. Up here we've got in memory of Sir Spencer the Merchant, 15th of January 1931 to September the 7th, 1986, Member of Parliament for the High Peak District of Derbyshire, 1970 to 83. Her Majesty's Household, I don't know if that is comptroller, I'm not sure what that is, 1979 to 1981, whose ashes are scattered at the Saltings in Yarmouth. Sir Spencer Le March, born 15th of January 1931 in Edmonton, London, England, and he died on the 7th of September 1986 on the Isle of Wight. He was a British Conservative Party politician. Born in Edmonton, London, the Merchant was educated at Eton College and was a member of the London Stock Exchange. He served as a councillor on the Westminster City Council from 1956. The Merchant unsuccessfully contested the Vauxhall seat a London safe seat held by Labour's party George Strauss since its formation in 1950. At the 1966 general election, he was elected to the House of Commons as Member of Parliament for the marginal Derbyshire constituency of High Peak, and in the 1970s general election, and held the seat until he retired from Parliament at the 1983 general election. He was appointed Comptroller of the Household when Margaret Thatcher came to power in 1979. The Comptroller of the Household is an ancient position in the British royal household, normally the second-ranking member of the Lord Steward's department after the Treasurer of the Household. The Comptroller was an ex officio member of the Board of Green Cloth until that body was abolished in the reform of local government licensing in 2004. In recent times, the senior government whip has invariably occupied the office. On state occasions, the Comptroller, in common with certain other senior officers of the household, carries a white staff of office, as often seen in portraits. Received note in Thatcher's memoirs as famous for his intake of champagne, 6 foot and 6 inches tall, and could be heard booming the result when the Labour government lost a motion of no confidence by 1 vote, causing the 1979 election. Marchant retired from the House of Commons at the 1983 general election and died at the age of 55 in 1986 on the Isle of Wight. In 1955 he married Lucinda Gay Leveson Gower, daughter of Brigadier General Hugh Nugent Leveson Gower, R.A., and his wife Avril Joy Mullins, later fourth wife of Ernest Aldrich Simpson. Himself the second husband of Wallis, Duchess of Windsor, whose love affair with King Edward VIII led to the 1936 abdication crisis. In 2006, Michael Brown, a former Conservative MP from 1979 to 1997, stated that the merchant had tried unsuccessfully to seduce him. According to former MP turned journalist Matthew Parris, the merchant was a repressed homosexual. Yeah, it's beautiful. The skull on the top. Can't really see it, it's probably small writing, but I'll scan down, I'll see if I can. It's quite a bit, well, it is a really big church by the looks of it. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines of pews. It's one of the royal crests. See these a lot, obviously, in a lot of churches. If you can got a tea area here, it's lovely. It's like it's got everything they need for what the community needs. Beautiful church, absolutely lovely. Here we have the banner. And then we've got a little model of the church. That's where we come in here. It looks like there used to be a gate here, but there's now a bench with a wall, so maybe that path's been shut totally. The path's still there, obviously, but lovely bit of craftsmanship there. There's the pipes. Fundraiser there. Our wonderful organ needs some TLC. Can you help? We need to raise for the first stage. Joseph there. Some heather. Now, if I'm correct, this is another brass plaque, 14th century. I know there is some information, I will have to find it, but size of them pipes. Love and memory of Mary Frances, widow of Sir Richard Martin, MP, Overbury Court, Worcestershire, and only daughter of Admiral Richard Crozier, born the 18th of March 1840, died 3rd of October 1921. And then in love and memory of Florence Jane Augusta Crozier, the widow of Lieutenant Colonel Richard Pearson Crozier of Wast Hill, Yarmouth, Isle of Wight, born 8th of August 1864 and died 7th of January 1954. And then we've got to the dear memory of Florence Jane Chemist of Camp Lodge in this parish, daughter of Thomas Chemist of Killeen, Portarlington, Queen's County, who died the 17th of December 1925. This tablet is here placed by her friends. And then we've also got to the dear memory of Harriet Rose Hunter of Camp Lodge in this parish, daughter of Henry Fotheringham Hunter of Kilburn Hall, Derbyshire, who died the 17th of December 1921. They're pretty. You've got nice little gold flowers put around them as well. There's the altar. There's the other part of the organ there. And the pulpit. This looks lovely. Gems in there as well. Emily Ursula Ann Clugston, beloved wife of Herbert Cunningham Clogstall, CIE, who died at Anja, April the 24th, 1907, age 44. And we got Ramsden John, I think that might be Crozier, Colonel BNI, born January the 6th, 1805, and died August the 12th, 1871. Looks like buried at Kensal Green. And then we have William Parson Crozier, Captain Royal Navy, born October the 2nd, 1810, died September the 9th, 1868. In memory of, looks like Julia, wife of Admiral Richard Crozier of West Hill, Freshwater, and daughter of George Stone, Esquire, Chislehurst. If I'm correct, that's Sussex. Born 27th of May, 1810, and died January 1885. 83, sorry. They're a bit difficult to see, those ones. Now this here is the reason why I'm here. In memory of Alfred Lord Tennyson, whose happiest days were passed at Farringford in this parish, born August the 6th, 1809, and died 6th of October, 1892, buried in Westminster Abbey, October the 12th, 1892. And his wife, Emily, Lady Tennison, she's buried here. The family is buried here. But Lord Tennyson is obviously, being such a world famous poet, he was given a chance to be buried at Westminster. And then we've also got, well, I don't know, that's probably Gaelic, Latin, not a clue, but and here we have a bust of Lord Tennyson. This was a church he prayed in with his congregation. But that is beautiful. Lord Tennyson. I'm sure most of you, if not all of you, have obviously heard of Tennyson. I will be doing a bit more talk over the monument. In loving memory, Audrey, wife of Hallam, Lord Tennyson. I won't go through reading all of these. I'll show them, obviously, because we'll be going to the grave, so it's still worth showing these so you can read them. And As you can see, the Tennysons were a busy family. Most definitely military. It's not just Lord Tennyson with his honours of poetry. In grateful memory of Eric Michael Hearn Joyce, Military Cross, 1894-1970. He loved and served his fellows, his country, and his island homeland. That's lovely. In loving memory of Charles William Plumbley of Brooklands and Elmbank in this parish, who died 21st of September 1896, aged 73, and his wife Harriet Louise Restella. Both were actively associated with the work of this church. She was treasurer for the restoration in 1875, and also his sister Sarah Jane Neal of Brooklands, who died 25th of January 1893, aged 67, and bequeathed a sum of £500 for the poor in this parish. Lovely. It is nice to see that not all money for the poor different, and the fact that they've left stuff for them when they passed. I don't know what these two are, but I have just discovered two big slabs. I went to do a red with the bird, but look at these. I'll definitely have to do some looking up. They're beautiful. I literally just looked around and spotted them in the corner, so I will check them out. I've noticed the ticking, so that there's where the bells are. It doesn't seem like it chimes at the times, maybe because there are houses near. It's not like the old days where we didn't have Karens. Let's go and have a look outside anyway. Let's turn the lights off, Jim. If you look there, when we was looking at that model, there was a gate. A pathway for a gate there, but now they've got a bench, so it's absolutely beautiful church. I will put this in my top 5, and I've not even gone around the graveyard yet, so let's start, shall we? Actually, let's start where we were, might as well. Some of these we can read. To the memory of Mrs. Mary Woodford, relict of Mr. Peter Woodford, who departed this life 13th, something the 13th, 1770, age 66. And we've got, here lies the body of Peter Woodford, who departed life April the 22nd, 1942, age 58. And then we also have the body of Benjamin, the son of Peter and Mary, departed this life May the 10th, 1743, in the 6th year of his life. Looks like we, this the family plot there. I don't know what we're getting. I don't know what your volume's going to be like or what your picture's going to be like. But here we got Catherine Cotton, wife of Benjamin Cotton, who died November the 5th, 1746, age 65. It looks like. And next door is Benjamin. Benjamin Cotton, who died January the 23rd, 1756, age 74. So he died 10 years later. To see this little one here. Here lieth buried the body of John Cabon, who departed this life, looks like the 5th of January, can't see, at 1727. You see the little skulls, how the craftsmanship had changed over time. Just imagine 100 years later what they were putting on the stones. Just walking down and I just spotted this one who just caught me with the name. It's not mocking. It's in loving memory of Elizabeth Taylor, widow of W.E. Fairley of Old Mead and H.G. Stevenson, died at Norton Freshwater, April 1956. It's just a name, it just caught me, Elizabeth Taylor. Some more old ones here. Sacred to the memory of James Thomas Toms of London, who departed life July the 31st, 1837. 39 years old. So many here. This is such a big graveyard. Got some old 1737 I can see. Mary, the wife of, doesn't say, Wilfred maybe. Died November 1737. Another one similar, but we can't read that one. That's proper Lichen. Edward Medder, November the 1st, 1826, age 75. Also Mary, his wife, 1836, 79. In beloved memory of George Donald G. Greenland, MC, 1897 to 1956. Dearest husband of Sonia and father of Anne. Alfred Edwin Glenpower Topham, 23rd of September 1872, 26th of October 1856, the Happy Warrior. Wow, that's different, that's unique. In loving memory of our son John O'Dennett, died after a road accident on December the 13th, 1958, age 19. Now we know this here, we're getting closer. The light seems to be terrible today. These are where the churches are blessed. First time I've seen one like that, but it's beautiful. It's a shame the sun isn't shining and the wind is blowing, but a beautiful village. So we've got Charlotte, wife of Thomas Ormiston, born in Freshwater, September 12, 1827, and died at Sidbury, Devon, February the 25th, 1911. Let's see if we can get that out of the way. Here we have in memory of Thomas Ormiston, member in MEM Institute CE, companion of the Indian Empire, born in Edinburgh, July the 28th, 1826, and died in Freshwater, July the 9th, 1882. This man's accomplishments and achievements, if I listed them all, could fill 2 or 3 videos alone, so I'm going to give a brief summary of some of his more notable achievements. A truly remarkable man. Thomas was born in Edinburgh on the 28th of July 1826. A few years subsequently his parents removed to Glasgow, where he received the rudimental of his education. He left school early and voicing an inclination and talent for engineering, he entered the service of his father and his uncle, who were then engaged in extensive building operations at the west end of Glasgow. Here he acquired a practical knowledge of carpentry, masonry and surveying. In the year 1846 he entered the service of the trustees of the River Clyde Navigation in the engineers department, and shortly after became chief assistant to then engineer Mr. David Bremer. And during the long illness for some time after his death of Mr. Bremer in 1852, he had the entire charge of the works. At the beginning of 1855, when Mr. James Walker, past president, was then consulting engineer to the River Clyde trustee, having had frequent opportunity observing Mr. Ormiston's energy and ability, appointed him principal assistant to the office of Messrs. Walker, Burgess and Cooper in London. During his engagement on the River Clyde, he acquired a large and varied experience as the great works of improvement which have made that river famous in the annals of river engineering. Thomas continued in the service of Messrs. Walker, Burgess and Cooper for about 7 years, until the beginning of 1862, and during this period he frequently accompanied the late Mr. Walker to the many important works upon which he was engaged to report, amongst others the importance of the harbours in the Isle of Man, the River Mersey, the extension of the Bute Dock in Cardiff, and many of the lighthouses for the Honourable Corporation of Trinity House. He was also entrusted with the entire charge of the erection of the lighthouse on the Needles Rock during 1856 into 1857. No contractor being employed, he designed the whole of the necessary plant and carried out the works to the entire satisfaction of Mr. Walker and the Trinity Corporation, and received a testimonial from the latter on the completion of his work. In October 1864 he received the appointment of Chief Engineer to the Elphinstone Land and Press Company of Bombay, in which city he arrived in the following December. The Elphinstone Land and Press Company was formed in 1858 for the purpose of reclaiming a large extent of land from the foreshore of the harbour of Bombay, the formation of a series of tidal basins for native craft and boats, the construction of warehouses, roads, etc. Although the works had been commenced in 1859, only about 81 acres had been reclaimed when Thomas took charge in January 1865. He immediately recognised the establishment, appointed a proper staff and reduced the number of workmen by 2/3. And having got the works fairly in hand, operations proceeded much more rapidly at a considerable less cost than previously. And by 1870 this foreshore, 328 acres in extent, had been reclaimed and converted into a valuable estate. 10 million tons of material having been absorbed, the average depth of filling being 16.5 feet, 9 miles of road from 40 feet to 80 feet wide, 10 miles of drains and 2 miles of permanent seawalls have been constructed. He was a Fellow of the University of Bombay and was elected Dean of Faculty of Engineering in 1879. He was also President of the Sassoon Mechanics Institution, into which he infused such new vigour. In 1880 his health began to give way, but in spite of much bodily weakness he continued his work almost to the end, and as late of February 1881 he visited Venezuela in South America in his capacity as the chairman of the Bolivia Railway Company. And with the fortness with the characterised of him, he minutely inspected the whole of the line and introduced such changes in the management as he considered desirable. He was however obliged to give up all work early in 1882 and proceeded to the Isle of Wight in hope of regaining strength, but unfortunately his weakness increased and he died at Freshwater on the 9th of July 1882 at the age of is early 56.